In this video, I'm giving you my delicious spice cake recipe. Hi, it's Karolyn. If you want to learn how to bake and decorate amazing cakes, then I would love for you to join me by hitting subscribe and the bell. This week I'm making spice cake, and people sleeping on spice cake. I'm telling you, it is one of my favorite flavors, but people are scared. Like, people don't usually order spice cake. It's more popular in the fall months, obviously, but it is so good, and I want to share my recipe with you. So we're going to start with a box of spice cake mix. And I prefer Betty Crocker. You can use other brands. I just like how Betty Crocker bakes the best. But use whatever brand you want. This is a 15.25 ounce or a 432 gram box of cake mix. Now, listen to me, and I say this every time. There is a recipe on the back of the box. I want you to completely ignore it. Just pretend there's nothing here. We are not adding any butter or oil, and we are just using the contents of this box in the recipe. So just pretend there's not a recipe. A lot of people get freaked out when they realize that I don't use butter or oil in this recipe, and it's still moist. It's still moist without it. It's delicious without it. You don't need the butter or the oil. So let's get into the video. To make this recipe, we're going to need 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. You always pack the brown sugar, so it's a half cup packed brown sugar. 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of whole milk. This is full fat milk. 1 cup of full-fat sour cream. If you can't get sour cream, or if you don't want to use sour cream, you can substitute for 1 cup of full-fat Greek yogurt. 4 large eggs. I actually usually do 3 eggs, but I've recently started adding an extra egg into my cake recipes, and I really love the outcome. It ends up being really moist and delicious. So you could do 3 eggs, or if you want to add another egg, feel free to do that as well. 1 to 2 teaspoons of Wilton clear vanilla, or any kind of vanilla that you have. I am obsessed with this stuff. Highly recommend this, or you don't have to add any vanilla at all. It is totally optional. And the star of the show, 1 box of spice cake mix. I'm going to start by adding both of the sugars to the bowl, and also add the whole cup of flour and the entire bag of the spice cake mix. I'm going to put this on low, on just stir, or 1 out of 10, for about 20 seconds. As that's mixing, I'm going to slowly pour in the cup of milk. And once that's all incorporated, I'm going to add the entire cup of sour cream. The sour cream is cold. I prefer to use cold milk and cold sour cream, just because I don't like it to sit at room temperature for too long. The sour cream starts to get a little runny, and I like when it's colder and it's thicker. And then I'm just going to mix this on a 1 or 2 out of 10 for about 15 to 20 seconds. Now I'm going to turn this on a 1 or 2 out of 10. I poke the yolk in the eggs so they'll easily be mixed into the batter, and add 1 at a time. You don't want to just dump all of your eggs in here, because you want the eggs to mix evenly through the batter. Then I just want to add, I eyeball it, I'm just going to add about 1 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and mix that on low just for like 5 seconds till it's incorporated. And now, if you have a scraper blade, you can skip this step, but I'm just going to scrape down the sides and the bottom of the bowl. Since this is a doctored cake mix, you're going to get it to rise by whipping air into it. If you're baking from scratch, it's completely different. So I'm going to put this on a 5, or I'll say a 6 or 7 out of 10 for between 90 seconds and 2 minutes. And look how beautiful this batter is. I'm going to go ahead and pour it into my cake pans. I have my pans here. I want to grease the pans. This is homemade pan grease. I have a video showing you how I make this grease, and I will link it below. And what I want to do is just get a thin coat all on the bottom and up the sides of the pan. And then I always take a heating core and I get a little bit of pan grease on the part of the nail and stick that right in the middle. And the nail is going to heat your cake from the center, and then the pan will heat the cake from the sides and the bottom, and it will rise more evenly. I bake in 2-inch high pans, so one entire batch of that cake batter will fill 2 7-inch pans. However, I'm making a 9-inch cake with this, so off camera I went ahead and made 2/3 of a batch. So I have 1 2/3 batches of the cake batter to fill 2 9-inch pans. I have a video showing you how I do that, how I split the batter into thirds. That way I end up not wasting cake batter. So instead of making 2 full batches and throwing the rest away or wasting it, I made 1 2/3 batches. I will link that video below to show you what I do. And now I'm going to fill these cake pans about 3/4 of the way full. So this is 1 2/3 batches of the cake batter. If I only used 1, it would not be enough to fill both of these 9-inch pans. Now I have my oven preheated to 350. Inside my oven, there are 2 cookie sheets on the bottom rack. I was told years ago that it helps evenly distribute the heat. I don't think it's necessary anymore with these new ovens. However, I've been doing it for so long, and those cookie sheets down there will catch any overspill so my oven doesn't burn any cake that might go over the pan. So I just keep them there. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. And I keep the rack on the middle rack. And then just spacing these apart. I'm going to bake them for 50 minutes and then I will check on them. 47 minutes, I just want to test it real quick, and it is still soft, so I'm going to do about another 7 minutes. Been in the oven for about 54 minutes. These look good. So there's a little bit of crumbs sticking, but it's not wet. So this is finished. And I'm just going to let them cool here for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then I will wrap them up and freeze them. All right, I have this 18-inch long roll of plastic wrap with a slide cutter. I love these things. I can find something similar and link it below. Food safe plastic wrap. So I'm just going to pull it out. And this has been cooling for about 3 minutes, and the magic of cake pan release. I could just dump it out. Perfect. Look how beautiful this is. Remove the nail. And just want to wrap it up. So bring one side up. I'm going to cut the plastic, bring the other side down, and fold up the sides. Just make sure it's completely sealed in the plastic, and do that for the other one. The cake is warm. It's not going to melt the plastic. The plastic is going to shrink wrap around the cake. And when you freeze your cakes when they're still warm and you wrap them up and freeze them, it's really going to help keep them moist. Now I have my freezer dedicated to my cakes. Only cakes go in here. I have shelving on here, and I also use cake box lids on top of the shelves so I don't get these lines in my cakes. And I always store them upside down, so the top is going to face down. That way I level off the top so that I keep the bottom part of the cake here, and that part's not going to get ruined. And here's a cake box lid on top of a completely frozen cake because I don't have a lot of room in here. And there we go. And just going to freeze these, and then I will fall them and fill them. So there you go. I must say, it smells amazing in here. It smells like fall, and it's the middle of summer. But you can have spice cake at any time of the year. People just tend to order it in the fall. A few things. Number 1, this pairs amazingly with cream cheese filling Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite flavor combinations. I have a video showing you how I make cream cheese filling, and I will link that below. But yes, cream cheese or just regular vanilla buttercream is also really good with this. When it comes to substituting ingredients with this recipe, that's why I told you that, but but like I told you, if you don't want to use a sour cream, you can replace it with a full-fat Greek yogurt. But a lot of people ask if you can use buttermilk instead of regular milk. But I use sour cream, and sour cream is acidic, and so is buttermilk. So if you put too much acid in your cake, it may not brown as well. So if you start messing around with a lot of the ingredients, it's going to end up being a completely different result. So I'm really sorry. I'm not sure to tell you if you want to add butter, if you want to add oil, how much to do, just because I don't do it and I don't want to give you the wrong information. But feel free to mess around with it. You can use this recipe as a guide and tailor it to your liking. Now those cakes are in the freezer, and then when I'm ready to fill them, I will thaw them. I'll take them out of the freezer and keep them completely wrapped, leave them at room temperature to thaw, and then I will go ahead and fill my cakes. And I have a video showing you how I do that, and I will link that below. So I can't think of anything else. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And you can follow me on socials and check out my website. It's listed in the description below as well. And if you want to stick around, you can watch these two videos next and hit subscribe and the bell if you haven't already. Please like this video if you liked it. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, it's cake. Have fun. I will see you on the next one. Bye.